And we are back for the 11th episode of the Backroad Banter podcast. And you know what that means. This is another episode of two best friends trying to figure out life, and by the end, we're more confused than when we started.
Yeah, we got a guest, too. This is, we'll call him Steve, because I don't know his real name.
Steve, the lucky leprechaun.
But he's here.
He's there. He's not bringing me luck today, but I do believe he'll be visiting my house here shortly.
Yeah?
For anybody that doesn't know, a bar crawl is where you get really drunk, and once you leave the doors of the first bar, you have to crawl on your knees all the way to the second bar. And because Steve is as tall as he is, they literally ran into Steve on the street and was like, "Steve, why don't you join me?"
They crawled into him. He ran into them.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same difference. Say either way, he is now on Wyatt's wall and not crawling the streets of Pittsburgh. So
that's true.
That is one less leprechaun on the streets. So you know what? Your girlfriend really did a service for the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can tell. He's also not alive. So.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, Jay.
I'm not saying that she killed Steve back there. She might have found him that way, but.
He's got a smile on his face. That's all. That's what
true.
I see. And
that's
you know
true.
what? Bringing luck to you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
He probably got hit by like a bus or something, but it's okay.
Well, that is cool.
Sometimes.
It does in Pittsburgh for sure. I've heard that. Heard that's a dangerous and dirty city.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes the buses fall into sinkholes. That's pretty cool.
Do they really? I'm assuming that actually happened.
That did actually happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will. It's been a few years. I think it was like the first year I moved up here. I think like a week after I moved up here, some bus downtown went into a sinkhole.
Yeah, that's nice.
We had that bridge fall apart here recently. That was 2-3 years ago.
Man, if it was not for their geographic location in accordance to my location, I would not be a fan of their sports because I really don't care for Pittsburgh, the city.
I don't either.
It's weird. Like when we were 16 and we would go for games, or if we would just anybody would just go by themselves. I know we'd always talk and be like, "Man, that was nice."
It's very fun to go to if you don't live here. It's very fun to go to if you have something pre-planned to do. Yeah, but like I mean, especially now, I don't live like actually in Pittsburgh proper anymore. I live a decent ways out of town now, but you know, it's like the local scenes are also not fantastic. They're not bad, you know. It's not like they're god awful. It's just it's nothing special.
I've never had terrible experiences there, but what I like to go off of are professional athletes' opinions of cities because they really see the cities, and if you listen to multiple of them, and you know they played in different time periods, then you really get the feel for a city. And I have not heard anything good from a professional athlete about Pittsburgh, like about the city of Pittsburgh, not about like. I've actually heard good things
I've heard a lot of athletes love the fans.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The city is
like the fans are always super passionate, but yeah. You're right. I don't hear anybody praising the city. It's like whenever I don't know why I said I don't know if you remember. I know you remember when LeBron James first left Cleveland. I remember the quote saying like some guy, I forget who said it. So sorry to that guy. He's probably like a good journalist for ESPN. Probably a guy that I actually like know who he is. I just don't remember who said it. But he said you don't see anybody going to Cleveland on vacation. That's here. Like it's not a terrible place, but you don't just go here unless they're the closest professional sports team to you.
Yep.
Or unless you got family here.
Yep. The only reason why, and even outside of those two reasons, the only other reason why anybody visits Cleveland itself is because a specific event that is only in that city at that time is being put on. Yep. Like I can think of Columbus, Cincinnati. Those are both cities that people go to without a specific thing being on because there are areas to do shit, and there is things for the visitors. So that's funny that Cleveland is Cleveland and it just doesn't have.
Pittsburgh's really like drinking centric, which is weird. because it's like a pain in the ass to acquire alcohol up here. It's not a pain, but you know what I mean. Like, you've been here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. For anybody that doesn't know, in Pennsylvania, you can't just go to a gas station and find beer. And if anybody in Pennsylvania that stumbled across this, everywhere else you can just go into a gas station or a Dollar General or a Walmart or whatever and buy beer. Up here, you have to either go to Sheetz. What other one has it? Get Go, which is Giant Eagle's gas station, or you have to go to like an actual beer distributor, a beer store.
Yeah, I've only been to the beer distribution centers, and I really like those because they have so much of a variety.
No,
But,
they have a hell of a selection. It's really awesome. Like it's cool, but it's crazy.
It's
to
an
me that you can't
inconvenience.
it is an inconvenience. You can't. This is the crazy thing to me. You can't buy beer in a gas station, but you can gamble at Primanti Brothers.
It's funny everywhere that allows gambling. It's because everybody has that little bit of, can I test my luck? That's really shitty to think about the alcohol, which I know and I knew about, but like just for me personally, because I knew we were doing the podcast, and the only time throughout the week that I drink at all is during this podcast.
This show, yeah.
But now that golfing's getting back started, I'll drink periodically while golfing too. But I like to have me a good 2 to 3 beers during the show, just because loosens me up, you know. But because I knew I had to do that, and I wanted to get home and prep and do everything that I had to before we hopped on here, I went and I usually don't, but I left work on lunch break and I went to Go Martin, picked me up a 12-pack.
Nice.
I was like, man, 12-pack, that'll last me between 3 and 4 episodes. Nice. That'll work good.
Yeah.
So, like, I already have it planned out. But it really is. It's so convenient to... It's something that I guess I never had to not think of.
When I was younger, I always said, I was like, I don't understand how people do it, how they just come home and have one beer. Because whenever you're younger and you first start drinking, it's all about getting, drunk. But, like, the older I get, and I'm not even old, it's not like we're that old. But the older I get, the more I definitely relate to the coming home and having a cold beer, especially as it gets, like, as it's going to start to get warmer. You know, if you have a, like, long, hot day at work or whatever, if you're a person that works outside or has, like, I don't work outside, but I have a
Manual labor.
I work on a loading dock. I had the doors open and closed all day. Like, if it's hot outside, it's going to be hot inside where I'm working. Yeah. So it's nice after a long, hot day in the middle of the summer to just come home and get a cold beer out of the fridge. I never understood it whenever I was a younger man, but as I get, like, the longer that I work, it's like, I don't necessarily want to come home and get drunk. I don't want to deal with that, but, like, I need a beer or two some days. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some days just kick your ass.
Yep.
For whatever reason. It doesn't even have to be work. Like, the work day can be perfectly fine, and you can still get your ass kicked. It just comes out of nowhere. Sneaks up on you.
That's, it's really surprising. I think it goes back to kind of what we talked about last week. I think I'm in just such a good position now to where whenever I have a beer, like right now or on the golf course or whatever, it's a social thing as well as almost a pattern, just because the people that I spend time with, and then also knowing that, like, okay, when people drink, when anybody drinks, you get a little dumber. You may say some things that, like, are a little looser, and maybe it is a little bit of the judgment. I feel safer with just my friends, and so having a conversation with you, it's like, oh, okay, I can have a few drinks and he'll understand if I slip up and let me correct myself, or we can go over it without you creating some sort of idea about me or about that specific thing I said, just because we know each other.
Yeah, we know each other well enough, us and our friends know each other well enough that we know if somebody says something, like, out of line that's not really intended to be out of line, we usually I don't even take any stock in it. Yep. Like a good example is Kevin. I love Kevin. He's a fucking brilliant dude, but, like, socially when it comes to talking, he sometimes just doesn't know what to say, but he'll still say something. He's not going to leave you hanging. He's not antisocial. It's not like he's not going to speak to you, but sometimes he just says things and they come off a little odd, and then But it's real easy to chalk up just like, all right, dude, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I know what you mean, but
The best example that we could give to everybody, even though they don't know him, is actually Dean. Anthony
yeah.
Dean, the way that Dean says and talks, we just have the reference of that's Dean,
Yeah.
because Anthony is so much of a unique character that, like, you can't copy and paste what's coming from this dude's mouth. Like,
no.
he is, oh my gosh. So
You can't write it, you can't think of it, you can't predict it, no way. Yeah, so that is a better example, because Kevin, it's not like you can't predict Kevin. You know, he doesn't say anything crazy. It's not like he says anything offensive.
Just an average, he's an average dude.
It's just sometimes, like, sometimes I guess he might say things just a bit, like, incorrectly to where they come off as inadvertently rude.
Oh, that's definitely how it is for me. Dude, that's how it is for me. If it wasn't for Faith, I would be so much worse too now. To go back to Anthony real quick before I forget, that's what makes it awesome about us, is like we can take him and his ridiculous stuff, and because we've been friends with him for 20 years, we know, like, okay, this is what he's meaning whenever he says this, or, you know, like you're saying, we just know how to take it. But Faith helped me with that, because I have a hard time with remembering that other people take emotions seriously, whereas, like, I'd rather have a straight-up factual conversation, whether it's hard or whether it's helpful or hurtful, or, you know, is kind of a pat on my back. I want to just be productive in the conversation itself usually, and whereas a lot of people need, like, I just don't care about my emotions, but everybody else does. So she's helped me and remind me to kind of sensitize me a little bit with that.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I don't know. That's funny. But yeah, so I like drinking a little bit, especially on these good for good reasons.
Yeah, that's sweet, because I forgot what got us down that road, and you circled right back around to that bitch. That was nice. Might have stopped at the store right before the
Yeah, did you?
Started.
Man, that's awfully nice. I haven't been to the store in a really long time. Not the
beer store.
Not a licensed store, yeah. Or a licensed, unlicensed store. Those are the ones I like. But yeah, that's good. That's a good week recap. Mine was pretty much average. I didn't do much. Work was average. The weekend was normal. Got a few stuff for some nephews' birthdays again. Then primarily me and Faith just worked on a gift for Layla's birthday.
Yeah.
Which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Which, by the way, it's on the podcast, but I don't care, because who knows who watches it, if anybody. Faith wanted me to let you know that if she's free, you're more than welcome to invite Jocelyn. Like, we have the room. You
were telling me. I thought you were telling like a PSA. I was like, wait a minute, how many people?
No, nobody. Everybody else. If you didn't get the invite on whatever Faith's in it on Facebook, I'm sorry. But
yeah, I'll see what she's doing. I know we were. I am probably going to pull back-to-back weekends, because I don't know if she's going to, but I was coming down next weekend anyway.
Bro,
I'd planned on it. I wanted to get our first round into the season in.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The golf course opened up 2 days ago. Whenever, bring her, dude. That'd be awesome to have her. Yeah, that'd be so much fun.
She'll probably honestly like just hang out at home with Mom.
Oh, okay. Well, honestly, you know what? More guy time. But let me know for sure whenever you have that planned, if you have that planned, and I'll schedule us a tea time just to have us a tea time to make sure, we're getting played, you know?
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, can't wait for that. But yeah, other than that, just looking forward to the rest of this week. 3 days through, a couple days through now, and looking forward to Layla's party there in a couple weeks. So we'll see. Next week's recap will be a little better probably, because I'm doing a lot more. But
yeah, I will hopefully have a story or two as well next week from the weekend, just so hopefully somebody doing something dumb.
Yeah,
I have a couple
mine will be
stories of
family
people
related.
doing something dumb from today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I almost saw somebody get ran over by a forklift that wasn't moving.
Can you explain that?
By that I mean they almost walked directly into a parked forklift.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Okay.
driving because I was driving the thing. I'm driving it, and there's people out on the floor, and you do the safe forklift thing. You're honking your horn. I honked my horn like 15 times. These people are just still like talking to each other, paying no mind to the forklift driving at them. So I stop. I come to a complete stop, and they just keep walking. Before the one lady was like, "Oh, look out!" As she comes like this far from just walking headlong into the side of the forklift. Like I was stopped. I was stopped completely. I was like, dude, this is unreal. Like the situational awareness of some people is fucking crazy. There could have been a fucking tornado on the other side of the building and she wouldn't have had an idea. She would have no clue.
I am so glad, whoever that woman is, I am glad that you are okay. But,
Yeah, I hope you don't have to cross any streets going home. Shit.
but, if that would have happened and we were still able to record today, that would have made for a great story.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have gotten any trouble. I was stopped. I was stopped there. I had my hands off the controls and everything, and just
Well, it's
waiting.
almost like it being parked and her walking into it.
That's exactly what it was. I was parked. I just was on it. Like that's the only difference.
Yeah, you were
So-
just standing on it.
Yeah, like
technically, yeah.
I was technically operating it, but it wasn't moving. It was stationary, and she almost walked right into the side of it. I was like, man, that's. She was like, "Oh, excuse me," and I was like, "Oh, you don't have to excuse me, dude." Like, you almost walked into the side of a machine.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't even know what to say to that.
There's a lot of people that like I've noticed just from my job and just living up here, really, just like seeing more people. There's a lot of people that have zero idea what's going on around them at all times.
Well, I always hear from comedians that that's exactly how it is in New York. Like you make it
I would
that
say so.
way. You make
Yeah.
it that way in a city for the simple fact of one, you don't need to be in somebody else's business. Like that's their mentality. But even though, paying attention to your surroundings isn't that. But I don't know. Just for a couple things kind of rolling through my head, that makes complete sense to me. That they're just that thoughtless.
Yeah, like I understand minding your own business, but
How could you not care for your own life?
you gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's people
Oh,
crossing
gosh.
streets and stuff. And where I live, it's not. I don't live anywhere near downtown. Like people aren't just crossing the streets left and right. That actually sparked up something else. I wanted to get into my first topic of the day. I feel
Love
like
it.
it's a good transition to get
Roll
into.
right in.
The cyclists are back, dude. That's the bad thing about this time of year. I guess it's not as much of a problem in West Virginia, especially because down in West Virginia, the few people that do cycle usually get out of the way.
Yeah, I'm about to start riding my bike a couple miles every day. Hopefully here soon now that it's warm. Yeah, I also do it on I make sure I'm on as many sidewalks as possible.
Yeah, which like up here, I get it. You're technically not supposed to use the sidewalk. Like if you're downtown, there's a bike lane.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I was leaving work today, and I'm at an intersection, and I'm going straight, and the cyclist is going to his left, so it'd be my right. So he was going to be crossing my path, and he waves me on. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to wave me on because for one, I do have the right of way. And two, what are you gonna do if I
Yeah.
don't stop?
What if is he gonna T-bone you?
Yeah, like who's it gonna hurt if I don't stop? Sure, I'll get in trouble. I might have a hefty bill to pay, but I'm not gonna get hit by a car.
That's so funny.
Oh, it was so funny, man.
Let me get your opinion, because I was thinking, I was like, man, once I get my bike out of the storage unit and I start riding, screw it. Best place to ride is to work for me. Would it be a dick move for me to ride to work?
No, I don't think it's a dick move to ride a bike on the street in Glenville at all. I don't think it's a dick move to ride a bike on the street here. It's whenever you're one of the people that doesn't move. Like,
Awesome.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to. I don't make up the rules of cycling. I think some just selfish jackass did that. Um, but yeah, some selfish jackass that definitely was a cyclist. He made up the rules of cycling.
I had a little joke for the company or the organization that made it up, but it's much better being that some just jackass that likes biking is the one that made up the rules. Like one individual created all the rules.
I hope so. All the rules of cycling anyway. It was just one asshole, so I can be mad at him and only him. But yeah, like in my mind, if I'm driving a car, and not even if I'm driving a car, if I'm riding a bike, just for my own peace of mind and my own safety, I will ride, if I'm downtown, I'll ride in the bike lane like you're supposed to do. That's what it's there for. If I'm not downtown and I have to use a regular road, I'm not going to be in the dead center of it. Like, I'm going to be off to the side. That way, whenever there's room on the road, people can easily just go around me. Because I'm not going to be going car speed.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing is whenever cyclists are like, "Watch out, there's room for you." Yeah, just so with the average person's wingspan, 3 people can bike with the width of a car, so it works both ways. Like you're saying, like you have just as much room and ability to avoid stuff as I do.
They have more if it's just one of them.
Yeah, if it's just one person.
Yeah, they have more.
Even if it's 3 of them, nobody's riding bikes 3 beside each other because that's just fucking dangerous in itself.
I don't know. I don't know how this is going to show up on the final cut, but from mine and Justin's perspective, we switched places. There were a little bit of technical difficulties. During these technical difficulties, I go to check my phone to send Justin a text message to say, hey, I think we're having a little problem. And the first thing I see is that the Steelers have signed Darius Slay on a 1-year, $10 million deal. Darius Slay Jr. from the Eagles. That's fucking awesome, dude. That's when I was coming into this episode ready to bitch about the Steelers. I'm still gonna, but I like that. That's pretty cool. I think it's a lot of money for a year, but that's a good defensive back. But it's not what we need.
That seems to be. I like a lot of, because we'll just go into the sports. I like a lot of. I like some of the moves that the Steelers have made. I don't like the money that they're throwing out for each of them. So the one that, for me specifically, is DK Metcalf. I love that we got him. Love that. Like, could not be more thrilled. But for the term and the money, I'm not glad about that.
I'm not even sure if I love that we got him. I don't have any problem with him. He's good.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I don't know. I don't know what I think of it. I don't agree with the money they're giving people. I'm glad we got Darius Slay just a second ago. I'm not too happy about us not bringing back Justin Fields.
That was mine. Him going to the Jets, huge fucking mistake. And with that, the rumor that there's a possibility of us picking up Aaron Rodgers, I'm even more depressed about that. Why they would like that?
I would have liked it. I would have liked it 5 years ago. I don't like it now. Nobody cares.
If you're passing on from Russell Wilson, who just did that last season, why would you get Aaron Rodgers, who just did that last season?
Who did worse?
Yeah, it's.
I don't even know if he did, but in terms of winning, I don't know Aaron Rodgers' stats. I didn't.
No, I'm pretty sure. I
know they weren't Aaron Rodgers.
He cares too much.
He probably did perfectly fine. He probably did perfectly fine, and the Jets just suck. But I don't know. I'll follow the Steelers. I'll tell you how good or bad anybody else did, but anybody else in the Steelers probably not. Anybody else in the Jets? Yeah, I'm not. We need to stop this rental shit. We need to stop this rental quarterback shit. It doesn't work. Like, the only time that we've won was when we've had the same guy for a decade plus. Like, when we had Terry Bradshaw and Ben.
Did you
You
see?
can't.
This is a side note. Did you see Ben the second that it came out? Who was it? I don't know. They signed somebody the second that it came out. Ben put on his one of his helmets that he has, and he made a video, and he said, "Coach, I'm ready to be put back in.
It's probably DK.
It probably was. He said,
It's
I
probably
believe I got
DK.
another season in me. I can help." It was the funniest. It's so funny.
I'm pretty stoked about Darius Slay. But, But that's just a thing. Like, I don't want to say we don't need it. If we need anything on our defense, it's defensive backs. But the offense needs help, and they need it now.
Yeah, I am more upset with the people that we lost. Like, losing Najee Harris to me, I love, like, man, he's one of my favorite players. And I love also that who did we re-sign? Was it, who was our second back that just destroyed last year?
Jalen Warren.
Warren. I'm pretty sure we re-signed him, which is great, but man, Najee's a monster, dude.
I like Najee Harris. Don't get me wrong. I'm not happy we lost him, but I'm not really sad that we lost him.
Really?
Yeah. I think, like, I don't know if it's, like, I don't know who to point the finger at. I don't know if it's the Steelers' fault. I don't know if it's Najee's fault, but he didn't play like he should have. And I mean, like, I just mean his play style.
Yeah.
Like, him and Jalen Warren played like each other should have played. I've said that a million times to other people, but, like, Jalen Warren is 3.5 feet tall. So he's not really that small, but he's a tiny guy. Like, he's not a big dude. And he's just headlong barreling through people, just hitting the hitting the gap. No hesitation, no nothing. Just grabs the ball and, pew, just straight up the field. Najee Harris is like fucking 6'2", 240. Those numbers might be a little bit wrong, but he's a big dude for a running back. And he's like, this sounds very like old school West Virginian football of me, but like, he's just trying to dance too much. And like, he should be playing like Jalen Warren plays. He's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Najee.
And at the same time, I think the Steelers should like throw him the ball out of the backfield a little bit more. I think it's on both players, like, or on both parties a little bit. But like, I think if Najee Harris played like Jalen Warren played, like the same style, he's probably getting a lot more numbers.
Yeah.
He might get hurt. I don't know, but
That's a really good point. I didn't really think about that, but for last season, that 100% applies. And now just thinking back, whenever I watched it, I was like, holy shit, yeah, the time that I was cheering for Warren, they should have been plays that were set up not for the second back. And
it's like, it makes so
sense.
Strange to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Now, I would have been really upset if we lost both of them. I wanted to keep one. Like, that's kind of what my baseline was going into the offseason. Like, please, God, keep one of these guys. I don't really care which one, but we can't lose them both. So
the only person I care about getting now, like, we have to get a quarterback. Like, not we. I could give a shit less. I don't have any stakes in it. The Steelers have to get a quarterback of some sort, though, because they just need to. You can't not. Right now, they literally don't have one. But also, we need somebody that's. We need Justin Fields. He was the perfect guy.
Justin Fields it was a layup. He wasn't brand new. He wasn't a rookie. He had some idea of what he was doing, but he wasn't over 35 years old. Like, you could have got another good few years out of Justin Fields. Another decade if you took care of him. He's only what, 25, 26?
I don't know. He's young as crap.
He's not old.
And like you said, the only thing that he needed to do was to get out of Chicago's mentality and their play style. And that just took a little bit of experience in another organization so that you can learn, okay, this is what a winning organization does. So this is what we have to do. and then we just ship him off, and then we don't even keep his worst predecessor. So, I don't know. I'm frustrated with it.
Yeah,
But it is what it
I
is.
don't. I really don't know why we're neglecting the quarterback situation as much as we are. I don't know how a quarterback wasn't moved number one. I don't know
Especially
how,
with the money that they're giving out.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't give that money to Justin Fields.
At least another.
The
at
defense
least
is
a
the
3
defense is more beefed up, which is sweet. Like Darius Slay, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm not thrilled about DK. I'm not upset about DK. It's not, I don't think he's gonna be bad by any means. You know what I mean? But
I'm excited to see him in a Steelers jersey. I'm excited to see him. Him and George Pickens are going to bully people all over the field, and that is going to freaking just cream my panties for me. I'm going to be so excited when we're losing games, but I see those guys just bullying people,
fighting people.
Yeah,
getting
I'll be like, you
down
know what?
Shit. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
At least I can wear your jersey with pride.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I don't know shit, but I don't think we're gonna keep George Pickens much longer. I don't know why. It's just when we got DK, that's kind of what it felt like. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing, huh?
See, for me, I also think we'll get rid of him. I think we could hold on to him for another year, but it's primarily because his play this year, very similar to Najee's, dropped off so significantly. And you can address it to the quarterback issues that we had in the change-ups, but it's also his play in general. Plus, he's a problem. Like, I was just talking about him fighting and that making me happy. He's an actual issue for the organization, so I understand it. I get
dude.
it. This doesn't have to do with it, but it has to do with the Steelers and it has to do with the running back, so I'm going to talk about it.
Oh man, I thought you were about to. I learned something funny. I want to hear yours first.
Oh, mine's about Le'Veon. Did you see Le'Veon?
Oh no.
Le'Veon Bell is charged with 10 felony counts of sexually assaulting his niece. And here's the thing. He's saying that I don't know what's going on. He and his lawyer do not agree with the statements and are fighting it. But the courts already awarded the lady $25 million.
Yeah. I just
So,
looked it up.
there has to be, and he denies it, and I love Le'Veon. Like, him and AB to me really were like they were the killer bees. So,
Yeah.
to me, I was like, man, he's the last normal one. He's the last sane one. But if there's even a 40% chance that this is true, which according to the courts, they're not going to give somebody $25 million for no reason.
Yeah.
Just crazy, bro. Crazy. Oh my gosh. There's something about professional athletes that are just extremely good at their sports that have so much testosterone built over that it falls into their family.
So I think with those two guys, it also had
It's
a
messed
good
up.
bit to do with brain damage.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, she said that this went on for a long. Like, this didn't
Oh, this
happen.
wasn't new?
No, this wasn't happening a couple years ago. This ended probably a couple years ago, and for it to go on for a 10-year stint, brother, there ain't no way you took enough hits to even try to justify. It's so messed up.
And he hasn't taken one in a few years either, so it's not like he got knocked normal.
Yeah, it literally said exit. Like the thing that I read, the story that I read said ex-NFL running back, and I was like, no. But yes, unfortunately. Yeah, crazy. But we can move on. I just wanted to mention that to you because I didn't know if you had seen it, and since you didn't, I wanted to mention
I
it to
didn't
you.
see it. That is news to me. That's fucking
crazy.
horrible.
Crazy. Dude.
I hope that's not true just because I hope that didn't happen to, that group of, that child, because that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
But if that is true, then fuck
I hope
that
it
guy.
didn't happen to
That's
that
awful.
entire family. Like, because
Yeah,
that's the thing.
'cause
It's
that's
not
an awful thing to happen to your family. It's not even It's not even me being like, oh, I hope that's not true because I hope he doesn't get in trouble. Like, no, that's a horrible thing to happen. That's why I hope it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But you know,
Especially
if that did happen, fuck him. That's terrible.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I will change the tone a little bit. You want to know something funny?
Sure.
Kenny Pickett's going to the Browns.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
I can laugh
he's probably gonna play.
Yeah, and I can say all I want about him, but he has a Super Bowl ring, and T.J. Watt does not.
Yeah, that is true. He does have a Super Bowl ring. T.J. Watt might kill him and pry it off his fingers, but
it's not gonna say Steelers, which
yeah,
won't really
it's
help
not.
him. Yeah, dude, that upsets me. That is crazy and that is funny. Good luck to you, buddy. You definitely will play because Deshaun is being paid to play with himself
all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what the fuck. Oh well. Good luck to you,
Deshaun Watson needs to hang it up, man.
Kenny, I have one of your Steelers jerseys, just so you know.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
I have a Juju Smith-Schuster one.
I have a Juju one as well. The only Steelers jersey that I currently have that works is TJ Watt.
I was about to say, who has the TJ Watt jersey? You or me, but I definitely think it's you.
I have a TJ Watt jersey, and it has the Dan Maroney patch. It was the year that Dan died. So it has the Dan Maroney patch on it. So I was like, man, it just makes it extra special for me.
That's the Juju jersey I have is the same one.
Oh, really?
The color rush, right?
Yeah, black and yellow.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, that's a good jersey.
Well, yeah, cool. I like Juju Smith-Schuster.
I love Juju. I still do.
Seems like a very nice guy.
The only thing I don't like about him, and it's because I'm such an anti-social media and such an anti-online person, is how big he was into TikTok and Snapchat, and it wasn't in the fun. It just showed his age because he was just about dancing, and it wasn't stuff that I wanted to see.
There's so many of them that do it now, dude.
I don't follow anybody. I make it a point to not follow athletes because I'm past that point of giving them any value to my life beyond the teams I
don't follow the athletes directly, but I'll stumble across them anyway because of Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Twitter's a fucking dog shit place to operate on, dude.
I've heard no positive things about Twitter. No.
It sucks, dude. Like the people on it suck. The only people that post on it are like they do what I'm about to do right now, but they just bitch and moan. It's a bunch of angry people, dude. It's just a competition of who is the angriest, the loudest, and the dumbest.
Yeah.
And whoever checks all three of those boxes the most always wins.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown actually says some funny shit.
Antonio Brown uses that thing as you properly should. In my opinion, there are only two reasons to ever use social media. Negativity is never one. Never. You should not.
That's the only thing
get
you find
online
on Twitter.
To complain about something, even if it's about something online, because you're doing the exact thing that you're complaining about. You should be funny, or you should be informative. There's only those two, and even if it's just informative to your point of view, I'd love to hear your point of view. Make it on something fucking useful. Don't make it about asking somebody, hey everybody, hey all you white women out there, any moms out there that's really bored at home and been baking some sourdough bread lately? I'll tell you what, can you tell me what's the best ingredients? I don't have the ability to Google anything, but I can get on Facebook and make a post. It aggravates the piss.
Those are nuts.
Bro.
Those are insane.
It aggravates the piss out of me. Ask somebody that
Facebook.
Grew up in the social media era and grew up with a mom that did not work. So her sole job was to take care of the house, take care of the property, and take care of the kids. Or those are the jobs that she kind of took on anyways because she's a busy bee. And I understand, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody to talk to. Now it is an actual thing that is filled with Facebook that people think that by me making a post and some random people liking it, they are actually my friends and they are actually contributing to my life. I have such a hard time with this thing because I understand sharing information and sharing stuff that you want people, specifically your friends or followers, to see. But to simply post stuff because you are lonely or because you are not satisfied within your actual life, so you're going online to create some sort of persona or to get those likes or to get what feels like love and acceptance. I have such a hard time with it, and it's because you're within doing that you're avoiding anything to actually be productive, to actually help your scenario or your case. Like in the example that I had given, nobody. If you want to know how to make sourdough bread, there's a bajillion cookbooks plus Google and 100 other search engines. But by going online and going to Facebook, you're searching out not just the approval of others, but you're wanting other people to know that, hey, I'm a mom and I've got time, so I'm doing this. You're wanting them to know that, hey, I'm a chef and I'm a baker and I'm doing this. That's cool. But you know what else is cool? Is just doing that for yourself and not trying to get not needing the acceptance of others.
You can, I think, you know what? I'll interject on one occasion here. You can show everybody the finished product if it's delicious.
No.
Because then I want to know what you did.
No, that's not an exception. That's different.
You don't think so?
No, because that is me as a designer. That is like me putting up something that I made, a design or a graphic or a coloring sheet online. That is a product. But you going out and searching and asking questions.
Asking questions. Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about creating posts just to share. Because here's the thing. In this example that we're both talking about, let's say Faith made a delicious sourdough bread. Looks really pretty. She had it slit nice, and whenever it rose and baked, it came out exactly as she had pictured. Sharing that online, one, that's not searching for the approval. That's you being proud of something. And so you sharing what you're doing. But two, that also could motivate people. Whereas, Wyatt, if you put a message on Facebook and you're like, hey, everybody, I don't know how to cook this steak. Can you let me know what the best ways to cook this steak is? You're going to get a bunch of
You're talking about Google questions on Facebook. Yeah.
And that's all Facebook is. All Facebook is looking for stuff, or it's saying actual generic statements about my life that you should be saying to your husband or saying to your significant other or saying to yourself. You're saying online thinking that these people are actually thinking that those likes do make a difference. And for me, I like to do I'll do the comparison then. Like, okay, how many people like this post to how many people show up to your kid's birthday party? Yeah. Exactly. If the people that you're trying to search for approval or appreciation from aren't the ones that you're willing to invite to your kid's party, why does it matter to you? And that's just, I don't know. It's just a standard that I set myself to very easily, but I have trouble accepting whenever I see it, because it's not like I just see it once, because I get that, like, oh, I'm just going to say something. Because trust me, I get all of the stupid ass, like, hey, you want to repost this from something I said when I was 12? Usually about the stupid Heat basketball players. Like, I was like, no.
I had a Facebook Miami Heat memory today that popped up on my thing.
Oh, dude, that's all I get is that. Or I get the ones, I don't know, does anybody remember this? Hey, I'm bored. Hit me up, or something like that, because I'm just searching for people to message me.
8 million of those, dude.
I get so embarrassed whenever I see that, and then I'm like, no, that's reminiscent. That's fun.
Yeah, that's like, for one, we're kids. We want to, like, extra socialize with everybody. And for two, like, I'm going to age us a little bit here, but social media was relatively new. Like, it was a lot more cool when it was fresh. Now it's like, I guess it's just, again, aging us. We're just getting old. We're like, fuck all this new shit. This sucks.
Literally, the only things that you could message somebody on besides email was MySpace, which fortunately was
MySpace
aging
was
out
awesome.
for us, though. And Facebook.
MySpace was the shit. I loved it, but it died hard.
Yeah, dude, it died so quickly. It died down.
So bad.
What MySpace did way better. Facebook did better at connecting people. MySpace did better at personalizing the stuff so that whenever you did find somebody, you kind of got to know them before even knowing them. You know what I mean?
Their page was them. You could
Yes.
fully customize your entire MySpace page, like your background, the setup of the whole thing,
Interest, music,
in music, everything. Like it was seriously. You didn't have to like.
It was kind of everything.
It's probably good. It's probably good. It's not around now. It would be used for all of the wrong shit nowadays. It probably used to be by some people back in the day, but yeah, you could find out a lot about somebody without. It's not like private information. It's not anything that nobody doesn't share. But like, put full playlists on that thing, dude. Like I remember I had a playlist on my MySpace page. It was like fucking 30 songs long.
Bro,
I would just log on to MySpace and scroll and play my playlist.
I'm not a music person, which you know. And MySpace, between MySpace and Courtney, those are the only two things that really got me into music. Aside from, old school. Old school. Back in the day, every like TV provider used to have just music stations, so they would play like the top rap, top hip hop, top country music. So like I would hear that periodically in the mornings, but I would never hear. But MySpace and Courtney is how I actually heard of any relevant music because it wasn't old.
MySpace is still a thing.
I thought it closed down.
I thought so too. It's probably very different. You can sign into MySpace with your Facebook or Twitter, and it does have the Twitter logo, not the X logo. So maybe this is a tad bit outdated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got like there's a full page. Like I googled it and it pops up.
That's weird.
Its Wikipedia says MySpace is a US-based social networking service that launched in 2003 and was popular until 2009. Why do they? That sounded like a little bit of a jab. Did they have a definitive year on when it wasn't popular anymore? That's how hard MySpace died. That's the funny thing is like I'm laughing at that, but it's not inaccurate. That is how hard and fast MySpace died.
No, it really did, but that coincides directly with Facebook. 2010 was our 6th and 7th grade year. That directly coincides with whenever it was getting big. It's funny because Justin Timberlake ended up buying it in 2010. So
MySpace?
Yeah. Purchased
I didn't
it
know
with,
he was the one that bought that.
Yeah, he purchased it with Pacific Media Group for $35 million.
Huh.
But then it was purchased in 2016 for $87 million. So
I don't know how he added more value onto that.
yeah, with nobody using it.
Tom,
But
was
yes,
a revolutionary. I don't even know that guy's last name, but you remember MySpace Tom, the one friend everybody had. He, I can just picture that same picture of him in his computer chair with the white T-shirt turned around, smiling. Yeah, I hope Tom's doing well.
I'm gonna be honest. If Tom's like all my other childhood character friends, one that we'll see later here, he's probably been gentrified to all heck, and honestly, he's probably in a very depressive state because if he was however old he was in 2003, he's definitely not doing too good now, man. Tom, good luck to you. Reach out to us. We'll take care of you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I guess we'll be a good support system. We'll be an emotional support system. Yeah, we're not gonna fund you. If you're broke, that's on you, brother. You should have.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't know.
You were the king of MySpace. You should have.
You should have gone work for Facebook or something.
Literally the face of MySpace. So yeah, that's on you to blow your fortune like that.
But if you need a friend, we got you. You were everybody's friend on MySpace. So we'll pay back the favor.
Join Facebook, and I'll be your friend on Facebook.
Yeah, I probably won't. I don't I don't look at my Facebook a lot. I neglect the shit out of that thing.
I look at my Facebook about once every 3 weeks. I look at my work's Facebook about 14 times a day, and their Instagram and their Twitter.
Yeah, I definitely understand why you're not a social media guy, because if I was a social media guy, I wouldn't look at that shit off the clock. No
Bro,
way.
I make it a
not
point
a chance.
to avoid it. Yeah, it's.
I don't look at it off the clock anyway. I usually like do a lot of scrolling at lunchtime and other times.
Yeah, this job's make me appreciate even more. It's made me miss surveying. So shout out all my surveying bros, both in SLS and outside of company that I have worked with and grown with, because I miss surveying. I miss being with those guys. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the jokes. I miss making the early mornings tough, or making the early tough mornings better, and the late evenings better as well. This running into them this week has been good. It's been fun. But I also appreciate how easy and how good I have at it now, and I like using my degree and my knowledge, so that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the whole social media thing,
Yeah.
it's going to tie into a little bit of things we said last week. Another thing I've seen on Twitter a lot is it is also becoming Facebook in the sense of AI art. There's so much of that shit. I even saw somebody say, "Get this Facebook shit off of my timeline." And I was like, wow, that is what this is. Because what it was an AI generated intro from The Office, but all the characters were babies instead of adults.
There is nothing that upsets me more than whenever I see those videos specifically. Like,
They're so weird.
I don't want to see those. I have
They're
no
so
interest
weird.
in seeing
I don't.
those. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
It goes back, like we said last week. Every video that I see like that is flat comparative to even the cartoon drawings that they're pulled of. Like, there is nothing, no substance, no value to any of those videos. I despise those, dude.
Yeah, but I saw it and somebody said, "Get this Facebook shit off of my timeline."
I like whoever that is. You should have given them a follow because they deserve it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I follow anybody on Twitter. I don't even have like a real Twitter. I really just have like a burner basically for news. I don't tweet anything. I don't follow fucking any. I did follow a small handful of people, but like not people. It's usually like organizations. Like I follow the NFL, the NBA. Like it's kind of where I get a lot of my notes and shit from for this show is Twitter, because that's where people are talking. But I'll go to the trending pages and look at those. I don't participate. It's a goddamn toxic environment over there, man. Everybody's just pissed off, and then they just take it out on everybody else. Everybody's arguing and bitching. Nobody likes anything or anybody. It's crazy. It's like the Wild West, except everybody's pissed off.
Yeah, that's all I hear about it. The one that I spend the most time on would probably be Instagram, and I'm very thankful for that because I don't have to read the captions. So if it's a dumb video, I just have to watch the video, or read over the picture. And if it's informative, then I can read the captions. So I'm able to avoid that stuff. It's probably why I favor Instagram more than most now, because especially
it's funny. Instagram's the only thing we have
for me. Yeah, for the podcast. Yeah.
I think pretty soon we're probably going to have TikTok, because I think it would be good for exposure's sake. But
yeah,
I can mark my words right now. I don't think there's ever a snowball's chance in hell we're going to have a Twitter. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's just like, I already don't like being on it.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Let alone having to. Yeah. If you look on Glenville's Twitter, I think I've made 3 tweets this year, like this school year. I don't use it, but it's because of exactly what you said. It's according to, well, for me personally, because it's my job, I have to do a lot of research-backed stuff, but it's not a favorable outlet to gain, like, prospective students from, or to really gain anybody from, to gain any positive attention. So I just avoid it for the most part, work-wise.
Yeah, it's a thing that is, I guess it's good if you already have like a big brand, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, yeah, it's shitty. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of people with main character syndrome that are just arguing with each other about who's right and everybody's wrong. But the correct people are usually staying out of the conversation, but it's just about who can be the wrongest and the loudest and the angriest and who can, use the better insults or whatever to get all the other dumbasses that reply to the thing to be like, yeah, you got him,
Man,
It's
if I could,
bad. It's so dumb.
I could insult the fuck out of some people.
Yeah.
If
you ever
had-
want to get shitty with us, you're not gonna be able to do it on Twitter. Do it in the YouTube comments like a man.
Yeah. And I promise I'll probably laugh really hard and like it.
Yeah, probably.
Because you're probably right.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be right. So yeah, I'll give that one to you. Whatever it is, I'll give it to you right now.
Yeah, you get that approval ahead of time.
Gosh. Sign off the social media bullshit though, because fuck social media, fuck Twitter specifically. The rest of them are okay.
Well, you know what? If we're gonna complain, I was gonna ask some questions, but before we get into some conversation that hopefully people could relate to, I want to be a little informative, so I'm gonna complain about the federal government, and this just goes into what we've been talking, what I've been talking about a little bit. First of all, in terms of the federal government, what is happening right now for our country, in overall stance? Everybody should be very relieved and just know that my very mundane and non-important opinion, we are in very good hands no matter what Donald Trump or Elon Musk may put out on social media or in things. Because both of them take their job extremely serious, take this country extremely serious, and but they also know that whenever it comes to social media, they will win. They will not be able to win, and with that, they don't care to offend people. They don't care. I forget what the question was, but Elon Musk this week was asked something by a reporter while he was walking through a corridor, and it was a number for something, and his response was 8008. Type that in, and then he just started laughing to himself because it's boob in a calculator, and
fucking weird.
It's like, yeah, he is weird. He's just weird. So like, look at what they're doing, not what they're saying. Is my best. I guess my best advice. But with that, we're going to get into what Elon is doing. It plays into Dodge. I'm going to call it Dodge because I hate Doge because it applies to, or it makes me think, reference that Coinbase platform. But so according to my notes, which I have verified on multiple sources, some wasteful spending that has been done here recently that has now been stopped, to add to everything that I may have said beyond. $312 million in 2021 was given to COVID funds. SBA specifically. If anybody doesn't know, that's Small Business Association. That they are... Well, they're vital for anybody that's running a small business and has to apply taxes or has to do anything, needs any assistance. But $312 million was given out in SBA loans to people 11 years and younger of age. What the fuck? Like, that beyond frustrates me because I was in college at that time and I actually went back to work whenever the pandemic hit. And so I worked all the way through that at minimum wage. And I never, not one time still to date, have received any assistance from the COVID relief. Not one grant or anything, $1,000, $1,200, anything.
You didn't get any of the stimulus checks?
I got none of that. And I was living with Candace at the time, and she did. I was working, all my coworkers did. I did not. So to hear that $312 million were given out in small business loans just absolutely infuriates me to no end. And our government's corrupt, and Yeah, our government's just corrupt, and I still think there's probably corruption within this administration. So I hope we weed them out eventually as well. But to add on to that, 33 million or 333 million in SBA loans were given to people 115 years and older. Just so everybody knows, there's nobody 115 years old in the United States alive. So yeah,
I was about to say, did you say that number right?
yep, 115 years, and you know the oldest. A 157-year-old received $36,000 in SBA loans. Fucking incredible, man.
Yeah, he's extra dead.
But
He's been dead for like 70 years.
he's got $36,000 3 years ago. So
Well, shouts out to him, dude.
absolutely
Rich
retarded.
man.
This one I saw on social media. This one I was not just reading and find out about. This one I read on social media. And $32,000 was spent at the Pentagon for Air Force coffee mugs. How many? 25. $32,000 on 25. 25, not 250, not 2,500, on 25. Not enough to staff anybody. 25 total coffee mugs. Now, here's the catch. They were reheatable. So
they reheated themselves? You can still get one of those for like $40 at Walmart.
actually, no. It could be heated in the microwave and not crack.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
That's stupid. It's not even one of the ones that reheats itself?
Exactly.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, so
What is it made out of? Does it come with its own cup holder? Air conditioning, maybe?
It's made out of the same ones that we buy for $5.
Really? No sunroof?
No. I didn't see a sunroof, so
No
maybe it was
four-wheel
already
drive or
retracted. I don't know. Four-wheel
That's
drive, I didn't
nuts.
see that option in the package. I'm going to be honest. They didn't outline that, so I'm going to say no.
That's highway robbery.
$150,000 was spent on soap dispensers. Not
It's got
necessary.
a lot
Not
of bathrooms in that bitch.
I don't know. And this right here is going to turn it around because I wrote this down because I was super excited. And I'm excited because West Virginia actually did something good for once, and we are one of the first for once in this. West Virginia, last week, the West Virginia Senate passed a bill where it bans dye food colorings, specifically the ones that are linked to neurological disorders. And so I have the list, just if anybody is listening is wondering what will be red 3, red 40, yellow 5.
Yeah, I was going to say red 40's probably on there.
Yeah,
Red 40's
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
big ones,
2 more yellows, 2 more blues, and a green. But it's because they're all the ones that are directly linked to neurological disorders. But that is absolutely incredible that that we had that. Something that upset me, though, was that whenever I was reading about the bill, it was talking about whenever it would come into effect and whatnot. And for schools, it would come into effect in August. So at the beginning, August 1st. So it'll be the new year for every county. But for me, it just upset me because I was like, man, how many things have these food colorings? And how many of them
a shitload of them.
have could we actually attribute to any sort of performance to, us students that went to Gilmer County, or any West Virginia public schools? So it's just, I don't know.
Some
It
of
was
the
really
stuff you
good,
buy. You know what I mean?
dude.
Like just some of the stuff that's everywhere.
As somebody, I only eat meat, which is good, and then on top of meat, or aside from meat, I eat processed sugar. So,
Yeah, I was about to say candy.
yeah, processed sugar. So literally in every candy I've read, like every candy's bad. Every candy has bad dyes. That's why I'm excited, because the good candies that don't have dyes are expensive, and I only buy those like once a month. So I'm eating a lot of bad stuff. But that's just awesome. So props to West Virginia. Props to the Senate, and hopefully that is one of the many first steps that we take in improving this state.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. It's pretty cool for them to take initiative. It's different, that's for damn sure.
Yeah. we usually just wait around. So yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think it's about time we get into these questions. I don't think I have them this week, unless they're on the list that you sent me previously, but I think we covered most of those.
No, these ones right here, I actually just wrote down. I just wrote some down this week because I did my notes while I was at work yesterday, and my sheet of paper is not at work. So, and this one I was just thinking because it's really hard. It's hard for everybody, but. And we can both talk about this, but I want to get yours first. How do you find motivation at work or like throughout your day? And how do you do so? Or what may be that motivation? Or I guess a better second question. How do you get through your day whenever it's hard to find that motivation?
Fuck, those are all, that's a really good combination of questions. I just got punched by all of them. I like the, so my motivation to get through the workday, it fluctuates. Sometimes, it really depends on the day. I guess it's a shitty answer, but I'll elaborate. Sometimes it's something little, sometimes it's something big, but it's always what do I have to look forward to. Like if I got a trip coming up, whether I'm going back home to visit or I'm going somewhere out of town like I did, a couple months ago. It's if I have something to look forward to, the day is a lot easier. Sometimes it's as little as something like payday. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's as little as like, oh, I got paid today. You know what? This day sucks a little bit, but I got paid today. I'm gonna get out of here and go like have like a nice dinner and. I'm going to eat what I want for dinner. I'm going to, get like a 6-pack or something. I'm going to go home, relax. And, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's as little as something like that. But that's really all that gets, not all, but that's like the main driving force that gets me through a shitty day. Like, if I'm having a shitty day, if I got something in the near future to look forward to, then I can shake it off and be like, all right, yeah, I'm powering through here. The question that really threw me off was the second one, or the last one, whatever number one those were. How do I get through it when I find that motivation, or when I don't find that motivation, or don't have that motivation? That's tough. I guess my best answer is to look for something smaller to look forward to. Either way, it's something to look forward to when you get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? Like today, I was like, oh, we don't normally do the show on this day of the week. We're a couple days late, but it'll air at the same time. It'll be posted on the video at the same time as the day we recorded. Is a little bit late. So today, like I had one of those days today. I don't have really any trip that I'm super looking forward to. At least not close. Like not this weekend. You know what I mean? Like I'm going out to that bar crawl thing, but you know as well as me that's not really my thing. Like I'm not going for me. But I'm still going. Like, I'll have a halfway decent time, but it's not my thing. It's not a thing that I look to go to.
Yeah.
So, that's not like a thing that's pushing me to the end of the week. But, so I guess find something smaller. I was like, oh, okay, I get to go home, just get something to eat real quick, and then get to go do the show, and then see where the evening takes me from there. Like, that's a good little unwind. So, yeah, I guess that's my advice, dude, is just, like, if your work's getting you down and you don't, and it's killing your motivation, or you need to find motivation. It sounds cheesy, but like think of what you're doing it for. Like not, you know what I mean? Whether it's just for, to get to payday, or whether it's just to get to the end of the day and get home and do your relaxing stuff. Or, best case scenario, it's like, okay, just got to get through this week and I'm going on vacation. Or I just got to get through this week and, I'm going to go see my folks, just whatever you got. Like, it doesn't have to be anything big, because if you always expect something big, it's always going to suck. Yep. So, just look forward to the shit that you enjoy.
Yep.
I guess that's what I do.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that answer, and that's actually what I was kind of hoping for, because it just goes back to the old saying, you can't milk the goat if you don't throw the hay. So, and it's really something I think about almost daily, especially on the tough days. Specifically, whenever I was writing this, I have a job that like I said, I I enjoy what I do. But at times it's hard to find motivation because I'm somebody that loves challenges and loves constantly. I just love having things to strive for. So, in a job for the first time where I'm kind of laid back, I have a fair amount of these days, and that is the exact same answer that I have. It's finding, whether it's big or small, finding something each day or at the end of the week to look forward to and to push to. And it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be different. It has to be something that you enjoy. I think it's why we constantly say, like, whatever it is you do, like, find what you do and do it, or find what you enjoy and do it, because, like, for us average people, it's the only thing that we have. Like, we have to work, but outside of that, you gotta find who wants to be miserable 8 hours a day and then 6 hours a day, and then the only times you're not miserable is in your dreams, and hopefully it's not a nightmare at that time, or else then you are too, you know?
Yeah.
And I love how you touched on whenever you can't find the motivation, again, it's the same principles, finding something smaller.
Yeah, just make it smaller. Like, sometimes if I have a shitty day and I don't have anything to look forward to, like, say I have a shitty Thursday or something, you know what I mean? Like, okay, at least I get to go home at the end of the day, you know, shower, eat, relax, you know. I'm also still, it's easier for me to say, I guess, because I'm fresh in my own place, so I still catch myself telling myself all the time, like, you get to go home to your own place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have roommates. Like, you get to go home and enjoy your peace, all the peace and quiet you want. You get to sit there and do whatever you want.
Yep.
So I'm still in that mode. You know what I mean?
But I think everybody's in that mode to a certain point, because for me personally, like, whenever I don't have something coming up, so like this month's pretty busy with nephews or Layla's birthdays, you know, some other things that are going on, but for the most part, well, a good example is at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, whenever my alarm goes off, and I know that I have to get up and I don't have to be at work for 3 or 4 hours. It's knowing that in an hour, I'm going to get a wake Layla up. And for 5 minutes, while I just hold her before I take her to the car, it's just something small to look forward to. And I'm able to kind of attribute that, or maybe, and you know what, I could even just attribute it to her in general, because I have her and because it's made me even more so, like, stop and appreciate single second moments. It's made me be able to identify more of those to look forward to. And now that it's nicer weather, oh my gosh, there's a bajillion things that I could look forward to doing. But just exactly that. Most people aren't lucky to have any job that they enjoy doing, let alone, you know, enjoy going to every single day. So for me, it's just knowing that everybody kind of does the same thing, and it's just knowing, you know, what exactly is it that you get to look forward to, or that makes you look forward to afterwards. And hearing yours, it seems like it's the same thing. It's just life, and I'm excited to do my life comparative to 8 hours a day I'm doing my company's work. So this is, it's the time to actually be yourself, and goes back to what I was talking about social media wise, either make progress, you know, for yourself, personally, professionally, or just socially. It's time for you to grow. That's really good. I like that. I'm glad you answered it that way. That was a very good answer.
Yeah, dude, thank you. Yeah, it was about as genuine as an answer as I can get, because that is exactly what I do. It doesn't matter what it is. Like tomorrow, real time for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Not for the people watching this. Tomorrow will be Thursday, and you know what I mean. And just like might not be anything too good, but to come home and get to poke around on our video a little bit and make little clippy clips for people.
Yep.
And then Friday, it's like, I just get to come home and relax. Saturday, I'll go out. Like, not really my scene, but, my person at least. So, you know what I mean? Still okay.
Well, that's really nice whenever you can kind of outline things to look forward to each day ahead of time, like to know that, man, I've got a solid couple days ahead of me. I just got to make it through work, make it through these small periods, and then I at least get to enjoy myself, get to be myself, you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this next question kind of leads off of that. And everybody could have some for different reasons. I could name each job I've had for a specific reason. But what's the best job that you've ever had? For any reason.
See, I've had a bunch of different best jobs for a lot of reasons. My current one is up there.
Don't get me wrong, it pisses me off. It still kind of sucks. It's not the best thing in the world. The people are awesome. The people I work around are awesome. It's not the most terrific, glorifying job, but it's like I work with really cool, like genuine human beings that don't suck to be around, which is a huge plus. I've also had I don't know. I've fortunately had not a whole lot of jobs because I'm kind of a long-term person, and when it comes to jobs, for the most part, I'm either at a job for a week. Like if I make it more than 2 weeks, then you probably got me for like 2 years minimum. You know what I mean? Like I'm either out immediately or I'm in for a long time.
That's exactly how it is for today. Yeah.
So, like I've met cool people at every one of them. Not all of them have had exclusively cool people. But I've taken a little bit from every one that I've had for a decent period of time, which hasn't been many. It's only been like 3. But I've either taken a good memory or friend or moment, or if absolutely nothing else, a learning lesson. But I would say the one I have now, like I got to go with that one just because it does suck sometime, but you know what I mean? Yeah. It got me here, I guess. Yeah. I learned a lot since I've been there. I don't know if it's because of that job or just because of the moment or like the period in life I'm in, but I guess it just coincided with an important couple years of learning and all that shit. So
that's awesome. That's great. Good. Hopefully, if anybody's listening to this, we'll find something in that. Mine. Now, I will also say that my job that I currently have now is the best job that I've ever had. I'm using my degree. I'm using my talent. I'm opening up my creative ability. I'm learning a bunch of different software. I'm self-teaching myself a lot of things. I have people surrounded by me that are so knowledgeable that any questions that I have, luckily enough, I have the resources in person to answer or assist me. But with running into him the last few weeks and kind of talking to him about earlier, it's why we chose to wear this hat for this podcast. I'm going to say SLS for a few separate reasons. First off, it goes back to one of your reasons for choosing your current job. It's the people there. I met the best people, some of the best people that I'll ever meet, some friends that I'll have lifelong, aging from my age all the way up to 50 years old, 60 years old. And everybody that I met and I got to work with, I learned something from, both personally and professionally, whether it be things not to do or things to do, things to take from them, family-wise, professional-wise. I literally have probably close to double-digit numbers of people that I still reach out to, if not for holidays, not only holidays, for more reasons, just randomly throughout the year, because they made that big of an impact on me. But SLS also, because it was a pivotal point for me coming in originally as their marketing coordinator, thinking like, man, straight out of college with this job, and then realizing what it was, and later taking on the field aspect responsibility. It taught me that I am very malleable and versatile, and that I'm able to learn whatever it may take to succeed in whatever, as long as I have an interest in it. And luckily, I took an interest in surveying. I took an interest in the environmental work, and over the 3-year period, I grew far more than what I ever thought would. And I've gotten nothing but praise from a lot of people, so it's built up self-confidence, which is something that I also have lacked traditionally in the past. And to have self-confidence in a professional or for a work, for a working reason, going in and doing just interviews is so much easier now because I know how to apply myself. I know what to apply myself. I know the areas that I can really bloom in, the areas that I need to learn still in, and I know how to be honest with them. It's just all around in so many different aspects, from the marketing and business side wise to the field aspect wise. I've grew more as a person in those 3 years and opened up more doors for me. I mean, drone, photography, all that sort of stuff through them. So definitely SLS. Like, I'm forever grateful to Greg and Sarah and everybody that had helped me along the way there. That was a big one for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, my job's definitely not going to be one I stay at forever, but it is one that I will remember forever when I'm done. I have a funny work story that sparked to me whenever I didn't even think to mention this. Talk about how I work with good people. Today I got given a hoodie, like a nice Under Armour hoodie. So this guy, I was at work. He was like, "I have this hoodie. He's smaller than me. He's like, I have this hoodie. It's too big for me. I'm not ever gonna wear it. Would you want it, or would you want to at least try it on?" I said, "Yeah, man, for sure." And I went and I tried it on, and it did fit perfectly. It fit like a glove. I was like, "This is nice." I said, "Yeah, man, this fits great, thank you." And then, like, I went to put my hands in the pockets, and I ripped the pocket. I didn't rip it that bad, but I still ripped a hole in it. Jocelyn's gonna fix it.
Oh, okay.
So she's gonna sew it back together. But I thought the timing was so funny. I felt like shit, but I also thought it was hilarious.
I was gonna say, bring that back to town here next weekend, and we'll get that fixed for you over here at the Emerson Sewing Shop. I got 2 females. I got one fully trained and one in training right now. They are more than willing to sweat it out for you. But that's great that you got your own.
I might have to do that if Jocelyn doesn't fix it by then. I know she's not fixing it today. She's had a hell of a day. She's not even here yet, which is different. She's normally sitting, like, anytime I'm recording, she's normally sitting like 10 feet away from me playing my PlayStation.
Let me know when she comes in, because I know she can't hear me, but I'm going to say hi, and then you're going to have to relay it to her so that she feels obligated.
Oh, she won't be here for a while. We'll probably be done by the time she's here.
Oh, long day for her then, huh?
Yeah. She'll probably be another, like, hour at least.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long day.
Yep. Yeah, she pulled a 12.
Well, that is funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny as hell. Oh, man. I felt like shit. I'm glad I didn't rip it more though. So
yeah,
that's good.
At least he wasn't like, "Hey, dude, check out this sweatshirt I had," and then you just try it on and rip it. I just got this, man. It's brand new. Shh.
It was funny. He didn't even hand it to me. So, like, we have a filing cabinet in our office that we kind of treat as lockers. Like, we put just our items in there so we don't have to carry them around throughout the day. And I got in there and I went to go put my keys and my wallet and stuff in there, and I opened it and there's a hoodie. I said, "Oh, I remember him saying something about this. It's very nice of him." And I went to go put him on.
Well, heck yeah. That is awesome.
It was like right as he was coming into the office, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, that does fit nice. Yeah, you can have it." And I was like, "Oh, sweet, thanks."
What's that guy's first name?
His first name's Matt. He doesn't go by Matt, though. He has, like, a nickname. But
that's okay.
His legal name is Matt.
It's best to go by Matt. Shout out, Matt. You're a solid dude. Sorry that my podcast partner kind of shit on your present. Just didn't give a fuck about it. But
dude, he's a very nice guy. He'll even, like, give me food and stuff. Like, he'll have, like, because he brings a bunch of snacks and shit to keep in his little locker area. And, like, sometimes he'll just be like, "Man, I brought this today. I don't even want it. Do you want this?" Like, he's not, like, a big, large dude, but he'll come to work with, like, 3 sandwiches.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know why I packed all this shit, man. Do you want one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take one."
That's a really good quality about the place that I work with. My boss and then my coworker, Joey, both of them at least once or twice a month will bring in breakfast or bring in food that like they made themselves for everybody. But I'm still on surveyor mode, so I don't eat until evening time. So with only eating once a day, I'm not. But it's always so nice, and Joey's really cool about making like exotic food. So I've tried a lot of like Japanese street candies and stuff through him. So it's been really cool. I just like people because I'm not cultured, and I also I don't bring lunch, so I don't share.
I bought breakfast for everybody one time, but it was on like a Saturday whenever not many people were there. It was because we don't work every Saturday. It wasn't even this job. It was my old job that I had a few years back. But I drank way too much Friday night. I went in Saturday morning just super hungover. I got done doing my early morning stuff, and then I went down to so there was 3 of us. There was 1 guy working the office, 2 guys in the warehouse, and I went downstairs and I talked to the office guy, and I was like, man, I said, I'll bring everybody back breakfast if you let me go leave and get breakfast right now. Because I was just violently hungover. I didn't tell him that, but I was like, dude, I'm starving. I woke up late this morning. Like, I need to go get some food. I'll bring everybody food. So I just went and I just got a bunch of breakfast sandwiches from McDonald's. I got everybody like 2 or 3 of them, and I just brought them back and I sat them on the counter. I was like, everybody gets some breakfast today, man.
Best overtime spent ever.
Yeah. I was like, dude, thank you so much for letting me leave. It was killing me. I was dead. I didn't know how I did it. I was on like 4 hours of sleep. I couldn't do that anymore. I was like 23. I can't do that nowadays.
Yeah. Oh,
You hit the back half of your 20s and your partying ability starts to die crazy.
bro, what's funny is once I stopped all my store activity, or most of my store activity, and no, honestly, what was it? Probably sophomore year. After sophomore year of college, I just like gave up on my partying abilities. Like, I had no. I guess it just goes. I didn't see the value in it because I saw, like, I don't know, just because partying stuff so much and to the extent it just, you see what you lose, so it really shows you the value that it has to not.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do, but it's just not a thing to like make a habit out of. That sounds like such an old person thing to say, but it's true. Old people have been right about a lot of shit for a long time, and nobody wants to listen to them.
No, that is that is very good. It's don't make a habit out of it. It's
Like go out and have fun if it's your thing. Just don't always do it, because then it won't be your thing. It'll be your problem.
Yeah, most things except hard drugs are good in moderation. So, like, do that. Moderation.
Yeah.
Not hard drugs.
Yeah. Not hard drugs. Moderation.
Gosh. Well, you know what? I'll just go into another one. Another question I had. This was one that I had thought of because, I am very fortunate that I had met. Well, one, I'm not an online person, so I don't think I would ever meet a significant other online. But I was fortunate enough to meet Faith in college. What is your take with online dating?
The way I see it, I mean, I that's how I met my girlfriend. We, I think we clicked pretty well. It's a thing. I'm glad you asked this question, because I thought of this today. It's a thing that it's kind of like AI in a sense that if it was used properly, it would be a really good tool, because there are all kinds of people that fit other people. You're not always gonna meet all of them, every day. Unfortunately, that's not what people use them for most of the time. Most of the time, people use them to find somebody to sleep with. So, my take on them is be careful. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. That would be very hypocritical. I'm not going to tell you not to use them. That would be very hypocritical. Be careful, though. Like, you know what I mean? You'll meet some loonies on there. You'll meet some nutcases. You'll meet some people that, like, or just want to bum shit off you. Like, they just want money or what have you, or just, like, a place to hang out or some shit. Like, be careful. But, you know what I mean? Like, if you do your due diligence and you're not a complete idiot, I really don't think, like, younger people should do it. I don't. Like if you're college age, just go to a college party and meet somebody. Like once you're old enough and like able to spot what is and isn't bullshit in terms of a significant other, then do it. But dude, it's shaky. As a person that like I met my girlfriend on the Facebook dating one. I didn't use it wasn't on Tinder. I met her on the Facebook dating one. But it's it's a thing to fucking be careful about. You can't be an idiot with it, that's for sure. But I can't tell anybody not to do it. I personally don't even super condone it, but
Yeah.
I'm not in a position to tell anybody no in terms of that.
Well, that's why I wanted your opinion. Because, like I said, because of my position and because of, I mean, I'm fortunate, and I'm very, I recognize that every single day. I know how fortunate I am. But I also, just as with the conversation earlier, I have a negative perception for social media and for online stuff, because I've seen too little examples of it used for good and too many examples of it used for selfish or mundane and useless reasons. But I was just asking this because I constantly think about it for some reason. But meeting somebody in an organic way, meaning similar interests or hobbies, which usually happens at college, that's the best thing, and college gives you the best, or that time period gives you the best outlet to meet somebody because you see them in so many different aspects, from possibly class to how they interact with professionals, to if they're an athlete, to how they interact with their coaches, to their parents, and just all around, And then obviously you see them in the party scenes, and you see them in the fun scenes, the date scene.
It's the best way to get to know somebody first, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the downfall of the online, is you do it backwards. You meet the person, and then you have to go out with them to know who they are, as opposed to, you know what I mean?
You know what? And I appreciate you saying that, actually, because that changes the misconception that I have of online dating is all attributed to you don't know the person before you're saying these things and doing these specific things. I didn't take it as, oh, okay, you're doing the same things, you're just doing it in an opposite order. Because to me, I'm about safety, so like, I want to know the person before I spend a significant time with them. Whereas you have to spend a significant time with them before you really get to know them. Because, like you said, the online profiles can be off a little bit or can be misleading in certain areas. So I appreciate that. That really does help me. That gives me just a little bit of a different outlook, and honestly more of an understanding, if anything, on the reason for online dating, or maybe the benefits of online dating, why people do it and so forth.
Yeah.
It's something that I've wondered forever.
The reason is kind of a different story. I think the reason is because once you get out of the school setting, once you get out of high school and college,
Yeah.
Dating coworkers is a fucking pain. I've done it. It sucks. It's bad. It always ends well almost all the time.
Yeah.
The only way it doesn't end well is if you're like already together and then happen to work at the same place. If you meet somebody at work and then you date them, and one of you doesn't leave soon, it's probably not going to be great. Just cause, not just from my experience, but like I've seen it happen. I watched, you know what I mean? It's like it turns into a goddamn high school at that point. Like in terms of drama and just annoyance, it's bad. So the reason for it is kind of like, I'm not a person that goes out a lot. Even if I was, I'm not sure how much stock I'm taking in some random person I met at the bar when I'm shit hammered. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of my reason for it, is like I didn't go out a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't gonna meet anybody at work, and if I did, like I'm not gonna date a coworker again. Like that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I never want to take that challenge again.
Well, that again, that more informs me, and maybe informs another person of the reason why. Because to me, I understand not going out a lot, but I don't expect to meet somebody at work, because there is no job unless it's selling coins or smacking golf balls that I'm going to enjoy and meet somebody that also enjoys it. So that's why
Yeah.
that's why I talked about meeting somebody in a very organic way and something that you enjoy, because it increases the likelihood of you guys having common interests.
Yeah, that is very true.
So that's why I put the emphasis on it, and that's why I also always had a specific, more negative outlook towards online dating, because in my mind I took it as, I understand the uncomfortability, but how can you expect to meet somebody if you aren't doing something that you enjoy?
Yeah, the way that I would suggest, and this obviously isn't the route that I took, but what I would tell people to do if you want to meet somebody, I don't highly recommend meeting at bars. I know people do it, and a lot of the times it works, but like, your judgment when you're hammered is not the best.
It's always impaired. You're literally impaired every single time.
Like, my best bet would just be to if you do like rec sports, like shit like that, like if you do some rec sports, or if you golf or whatever, or if if you stumble across somebody at one of the out of the house hobbies that you have, then that's your best bet.
That's
You know
the
what I
best bet.
But definitely be careful with it, because the bad problem is that it's a double-sided coin, or a double-edged sword, or whatever the hell they say. It's you meet a lot, like, you have the opportunity to meet a lot more people, but that means you have the opportunity to meet a lot more fucking crazy people.
Yeah.
So just like, that's what I said earlier, like, it's probably not good to use if you're young, dude. You need to learn what crazy looks like. You need to learn what red flags look like before you actually try to do it. Like, if you're just trying to get laid, whatever, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
There are other outlets for it too, though.
Yeah, but if you're like actually trying to date somebody online, like, you need to do not that first. You need to learn what a damn red flag looks like. You need to learn what a few look like, so you can spot them. Yep. If not online, you could spot them on the first actual date. Like, you need to learn how to spot them before it gets too late. That is the skill that you need before you, like, even want to attempt to actually date somebody that you met on an app. Because, like, if you don't know how to spot red flags that way,
well, just with
you're
everything,
shit out of luck.
even without dating online, like, you can falling in love with a person and overlooking certain things is very easy to do, no matter what. So, like you're saying, being able to recognize those early, or at least recognize the ones that are red flags, not for maybe just somebody in general, but at least for something that you're looking for in a partner long term, is very important. Because I don't care who you are, and I know that, everybody's had, old Jay Longstrong had the mindset at one point in time, but you just don't. It goes back to what we talked about earlier, finding something to do. Having a life partner, or a partner short-term period or at all, it gives you something else to look forward to for a million different reasons. And we're only here for 80 years, and my personal opinion is it is for love, because love's how you make more people. It's how you keep the population up, and it's how people just live on. It's how our characters, our morals, our values, our legacies. Our legacies are our children. Like, for most people, 99.999% of the population is not remembered after 2 periods of them being removed. So what you can do is make sure that you have 2 generations continue going. Just the value of family is so much, and family isn't just the family that you that you marry or that you are born into. It's like me and you. It's like Kevin. It's like Ty, Nathan, freaking all my surveying buddy. It's the family that chooses to make you important and chooses to make time for you, especially whenever it's necessary. And also understanding that within that, we all are adults, and we all have our own lives, and we aren't going to be able to respond or talk or be there at every moment. But it's being there for the important moments, or it's being there whenever we're able to, that is most important, and that's what makes you family, and that's also what makes you gives you more things to look forward to, because it gives you more people to spend time with, and more people to make plans with.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was a tangent. Sorry, I really I was curious about that though. So these next ones have nothing to do with serious talk, but I'm very curious because I was just thinking and laughing, and I was like, maybe you could help me with some for mine, if nothing else. This one I know you have. What's a popular opinion that you disagree with?
Oh shit!
Oh.
I can go first.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to.
Okay,
'cause I'm
so
sure I can think of one.
I'll even give two. I'll give one that nobody will care about, and I'll give the second one a lot of people will only hate me for. So the first one, field goals are useless for football unless it's the fourth quarter. I think field goals are useless. I think that nobody, either in Madden or in real life, should be allowed to kick a field goal. I think that aside from the kicker themselves, there is nobody on this planet that benefits from a kicker aside from a kicker. So, with that, I don't believe field goals are important. I believe field goal kickers should learn to kick the long ball. And after that, so that's my first common opinion. Wyatt understands. That's probably why he laughed. My frustration with that. I do not like field goals. I don't kick field goals under any circumstances.
Yeah, I laugh for specific reasons. It's because I've played Madden with this guy a million times, and I don't think I've ever seen him punt or kick aside from a kickoff. Ever. I literally do not think ever in my life.
Won't do it. Most of the time it doesn't work, but 30% of 20% it works. So we'll just go with it. Oh gosh. My second one, just to get it out of the way so we can move on to the next question after yours. There are only two genders. I've had the conversation with people that believe in the opposite, and I truly do understand. I'm not coming at this from some right-left bigotist way. Your feelings are not facts, though. And I understand your feelings, and you can feel how somebody can feel how they want. But biological fact is irrefutable. If I meet you in person, I will respect everybody until you give me a reason to not respect you. So yeah, mine is very scientific based, and it just comes out of annoyance of history because I don't agree with that popular opinion.
Yeah, you know what? I've got my answer as well. I think you're gonna like my answer. You're gonna like my answer a lot. So my unpopular opinion my popular opinion that I disagree with. I don't think in any sport that rings are the most important factor in the greatest of all time debate.
I very much agree.
Don't.
I think that it should probably come in top 5, maybe 4th. I'll call it 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a top. No. I really like that.
Yeah. So I'll give examples. I'll give examples for every which way. Tom Brady's not the greatest of all time because he's won 7 championships. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time because he's broken every fucking record there is to break. And then he also won 7 championships, which is crazy. I'm not trying to discredit the championships. That's an insane statistic.
Yes.
But when you play a team sport, I think the team statistics shouldn't count to your individual work.
And he is on the largest team sport that there is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, 53-man roster. Like, yes, he's a very crucial piece. He was a very crucial piece to all of those rosters, yeah. But, we'll talk basketball. Like, you want to talk about LeBron only getting 4. Like, I think it's crazy he made it to 10 in a row. I think that's nuts.
That's what is not talked about.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's not talked about enough, dude. Everybody still overlooks the fact. It'll be another 20 years with him far removed before people start respecting him in the same way that they do, the greats to this day.
And I've heard people make the argument like, oh, well, he's played longer. Like, yeah, that's not his fucking fault.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Just so everybody
Michael
knows.
Jordan quit twice.
And just so everybody, and look at the teams that Jordan had. He would not have won one of those even close to it by himself. So it's to the point even more of the championships don't do that, man. The championships, the rings do not singularly call out who is the best from any sport.
I think they're very special statistics. They're important. They should go on your Hall of Fame plaque or whatever you get whenever you're done or whenever you go into the Hall of Fame. But I think when you're talking about the greatest of all time debate in anything, I have a hard time.
Yeah.
Like, in the only way that I don't have a hard time is if it's an individual fucking sport. If it's an individual sport and you have won more championships than anybody, yeah then you're the greatest of all time.
Hold more records, yeah, it kind of calls out that you're clearly Yeah, that's a good one, dude. That's a very good one.
Yeah, I thought of that in the middle of that, and I was like, yep, that's mine. That's
that's a good one. Well, good.
I think because I think it's LeBron. Sorry, and I think it's only LeBron because he's been doing this for 20 fucking plus years nonstop.
Yep. And for anybody that wants to,
I was a boy.
And for anybody that wants to complain about LeBron, look up the amount of games he played. Kareem has still played more games than LeBron has. He probably won't by the time LeBron finishes, but he has to this day. And to this day, or at least as of whenever I checked a couple days ago, LeBron won like 1,001 games, and he's played like 1,550. So he's won 66% of the games he's played. That's pretty good, or around that. That's pretty good percentage-wise. So yeah, that's very cool. Very good. I like that point. I do have one more question. This is one that I was like, maybe Wyatt will need help with because I can remember some stuff, but I can't remember everything. What's the most outrageous thing you've done for money?
I can think of one that comes to my mind immediately, but it's not outrageous. You have a lot better stories than I do.
Dude, that's why I can't remember.
I one time chewed a piece of tree sap like it was bubble gum for like 30 seconds for like 50 or 60 bucks or something like that, which like it was seriously just an inconvenience. It tasted like shit, and I had to brush my teeth like fucking crazy when I got done. But it's not like it was gonna kill me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't going to kill me. It wasn't so disgusting to the point where I was going to puke. It was just extra bitter.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, I don't want to say that's even outrageous, but I'd say the most outrageous thing I've done probably, like, wouldn't be legal. I might have done some shopkeeping here and there, but, you know what I mean? But, no, yeah, that's probably it. And that's not even that crazy. That was easy money, in my opinion. I would do that again right now.
Especially for the price.
I'd do that again right now.
That price is
I'd probably
retarded.
be more willing to do it now than I was then.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, I don't know. Now I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
My mouth's gonna be sticky for a second. I'll just go brush my teeth, mouthwash, do the whole dental care routine. I'll be fine. You know what I mean?
That is, yeah. Yeah, for freaking 50 or 60 bucks, dude, you can't beat that.
I forget which one it was, but it was one of those. I think it was 50. That's the more like
Which makes
logical.
sense because it's a solid bill. You just hand it.
Yeah, and you know exactly who I got it from too, and you know he was so.
Yeah, he's good for it. Yeah,
he was carrying the 50. He probably suggested that just because he had a $50 bill on him. He was like, I bet somebody could do something funny.
Yeah.
I bet he was really underwhelmed whenever I was done. He was like, all right, it wasn't that funny. But I'm a man of my word, which he is. He still is to this day.
Oh, that's too funny. I was just thinking about it because I was just reminiscing about some things I've done, and I was like, did I get paid for that or did I not get paid for that?
That's actually true.
And I really don't.
Holy shit.
Bro, so I just figured, let's see if Wyatt can help me reminisce of some stupid high school stories.
I remember the fan. You got paid for that.
Did I?
You got paid for the fan.
Okay.
You got paid for
well,
the
you
fan.
could say that because I'm going to be honest, I only remember the incident itself.
I'll try to think of a different one.
You got paid for the road salt.
Yep, the road salt. That's the only one that I could think of that I gotten paid for.
I'm sure you got paid for eating some just ridiculous shit. Like, not disgusting shit, but just, like, not edible shit.
Yeah.
Like cardboard.
Definitely done a fair amount of paper. Got my ears stapled. For the road salt one, we'll say that one, I got paid like $50. If anybody's been in any high school classroom in 2010 and previously, you know of really old scientific little lab kits that had every element on it. And
Yeah, it was like the little mineral kits.
It was the mineral kits. And one of the minerals is, you know, commonly known as road salt, after I had Googled it.
Rock salt.
Yeah, rock salt. But so I got in, and somebody was like, "I'll give you some money if you snort it." And so I just automatically crunched up a big old piece and freaking just right down the line. I went, and my goodness, I still remember it is the clearest, the best.
That's what you said. You said, I've never been able to breathe like this in my life.
I am telling you, if you guys ever are just super clogged up and on the brink of of dying from it, go down to the State Road Garage, ask them for a little rock of road salt.
Tiny little bit. They will look at you like you're a lunatic.
Crunch it up in front of them and snort.
And
I
call
swear.
the police.
Well, I made money from that, so that was pretty funny.
That is funny.
The fan blade
Oh,
was
God.
funny. All I remember from the fan blade is
That had to hurt like
I got
shit.
paid to put one of my nuts in the fan blade.
Yeah,
And,
that had to hurt like
that was also at school. That worked out pretty well.
You could have faked that though. Like nobody was like examining you. Like everybody was watching from behind. You could have faked that and got everybody, and nobody would have had any idea.
Yeah, but I didn't because I'm not like that. So,
if I was you, I would have put like my thumb in there and I would have dropped like ah.
Well, it also didn't help
Scream like
because
Tom and
Maya
Jerry.
was right there. Maya watched to make sure, and she knew. Yeah.
Yeah, you about died.
But anyways, I'm good now, and I had a kid. So
That is true.
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah, look at me, 2 for 2. And
You didn't get paid for the nickel, right? I think you did that on your own.
I think
You got the
I
nickel
think
stuck
I've
in your
done the
nose?
nickel multiple times. I think I had gotten paid for it before, and that's why I was so confident about it. But
Yeah. It didn't almost kill you.
yeah, I used to be able to put a nickel up my nose and have it come out my mouth, and one time it got stuck. Instead of coming down in the slot machine form, it came down sideways and stopped my windpipe, everybody. And for about 15 seconds and 5 real seconds at the end, I thought I was dying.
Yeah, it was not funny. I wasn't even there. I just heard the story. I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
I
But
saw the video.
but I'm not. And once again, I made it through. So
I saw the video and everybody was concerned, and Kevin was laughing, and everybody got pissed off at Kevin.
I don't believe the statute. I think the statute of limitations are up, so I'm going to say it. One thing I did not get paid for, but I did, and everybody put their hand on it. Ha, you fucking losers. Our senior year, everybody at Gilmer County High School, we do a nice hand portrait where everybody outlines their hand in blue or red paint. And during lunch, I snuck into that like 2 weeks before graduation. I painted a part of me and put them on there. And they are in every single photograph that somebody has next to that. And I just want to say, that is still one of my... I still laugh at that periodically. Like,
Dude, that is crazy. I forgot about that.
that is so...
Everybody took their picture of that. You should have gone up and pointed to not your hand.
Yeah.
They would have been like, what?
Oh my gosh, I'd love to find those photos. That is the best.
That's so funny, man.
The best thing is that hung up outside of the hallway for 2 weeks, like those last 2 weeks before we graduated, before they took it to
Yeah.
graduation.
I remember us pointing it out.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome. I forgot about that, man. Holy cow.
If I were to look at my notebook for stories that I have for like that book that I want to do, I'm sure I could find a lot more, but we just listed one, so that's okay. But yeah, that's funny. That's good. Those were my questions for this week. Next week will also be just as good probably, but yeah, those were my main questions.
Yeah, dude. Well, you know what? We got 2 things to get into.
Cool.
We might have to table one of them for next week. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But we got our list of movies that I talked about, and then we also got our reviews. So I think, which one would you prefer to do? And if we got enough time, we'll do both of them.
Let's jump into our reviews because I can at least hold mine up. So it breaks it up a little bit.
Okay, can I go first?
Absolutely.
Because mine's not visual.
Oh yeah, yours is probably better. Mine is.
Mine. I don't think mine is better. That's why I want to go first because mine's not visual. You won't be able to see it. Mine. I got another video game. And mine was the WWE 2K25 video game. And I gotta. You know what? I have either given things super praise or I've bitched about them. This is gonna be my first review where I think it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it could be a really sweet game, but right now it's not. I think they got a lot to fix on it. I was going to do some playing on it and streaming on it on our YouTube. I think I'm going to wait until they fix some shit. It's just, they just got some glitches and stuff. For the first weekend, 2 of the game modes were broken. They didn't work at all. Like, you went to go into, like, the career mode, you went to go into it, and then the game would crash. Like,
yeah.
Oh, shit, that's cool. So, yeah, it's got some fixing to do. That's all that my review was really that game. Like, it's cool. It looks nice. Visually, it's fucking sick. Like, like, the graphics, it looks like a movie.
Yeah.
It looks like real people. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch an entrance, it looks like real people doing the shit. It's fun when you get to play it, but the getting to play it so far has kind of been the problem. It's a big crash fest. So once they fix that, it should be fine. But as of right now, it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Just some new game problems.
It's super average.
Is it a big game? Is that why it's messed up?
I don't know why it's messed up. I think it's because they tried to put a lot of new shit into it, and I think they might have overstepped their.
This is the game where they opened it up like NBA, right? Like 2K.
They have. You know how the NBA had the city or whatever? They have their version of that.
I
haven't even played.
It's like
that.
their My Park version.
Yeah, I haven't even started that. I haven't touched it. I don't really care. I don't really care about it. It's just a money grab.
I saw a preview for that.
Yeah. Well, this doesn't have to do with it. It isn't my review, but I'm going to shit on it while I grab my review. Call of Duty, I was really excited because they had a TMNT, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like suit / whatever skin pack come out. Well, apparently for the entire pack cost $90. So yeah, everybody's complaining about it, and I'm with them. Screw you guys. Okay, so into my review. So this week, like I said last week, I had something that I'm pretty sure people that are our age, they may know of this. This is I was very excited because I thought they stopped making these. Kids Cuisine.
Holy shit! I thought they stopped making those too. They changed the penguin. I don't like that.
Just like I said earlier, the penguin is gentrified and all weird. It looks like he doesn't do drugs anymore, so definitely not a cool guy. Not stopping his van anytime soon. But I was excited to get this, and I was like, this will be a fun, cool review to do. So I'm going to break it up into 4 parts. The corn, shitty, needs butter, salt. The macaroni, just disgusting. It's worse than the corn. The chicken nuggets, soggy, but the meat itself, not bad. I would probably do those in the air fryer. As for this is supposed to be a brownie, and
it's probably the worst.
It was like it was like a mix between brownie and pudding and shit. It was bad. It was.
I never remember the brownies being good in those things.
I thought the brownie was really good, and first of all, $100. No, 5. I'll give 5 ounces of silver to anybody that can pull their brownie out and have it look like that. Because I couldn't even pull my brownie out of this.
After heating it up.
After heating it up.
Yeah,
yes.
Specify yourself after heating it up. Because it probably looks like that before it's cooked.
The one benefit, no, it doesn't. It doesn't look like that.
Oh, it's still mush? Fuck that penguin, by the way.
The one benefit
I can't get
is
over that guy.
did not skimp on the sprinkles. They gave probably 5 brownies worth of sprinkles.
Yeah, nice mush and 5 brownies worth of sprinkles.
But overall, very
I'm so pissed off about that penguin.
yeah, overall, it was. I was very excited about it. Still excited to do it just because it was a flashback. But it was worse than what I remember, which makes me believe that, like everything, it's worse than my childhood. So, there we go. That was my review for this week, everybody.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of time for these movies if we don't fart around on them too much. I think we got some time for these the movie list, or unless you want to save it for next week.
No, let's go right into it. I got plenty of time.
Yeah, dude, you kick her off.
All right.
You give me a pick and tell me what for.
So the one that I'm going to go to, my number one, is Avengers, the first one, the 2010 version.
That's a good one.
For a million reasons, from superhero kickoff to me being a nerd, but primarily for childhood memories. My dad signed me out in middle school and took me to see that movie, and I still remember it like it was yesterday, and it is a memory that I know I'll have forever and special to him. So for that specifically, and then for the franchise lead off, and all my other interests that I have, Avengers 1, the first Avengers.
That's a good one. I love that movie. That one was a big one to me too, dude. I remember growing up. I think that was like my first date type thing, because we were young kids, and I remember me and my parents and my girlfriend at the time went to the mall, and then I think my parents went to go see a different movie because they didn't want to watch Avengers, and then we went to go see Avengers, and I was like, damn, this is pretty cool. But the movie was so cool that I, almost didn't give a shit about the moment. Which at this point, I guess I kind of didn't. But I guess it was my introduction into my teenage years, though. So it's not that I didn't give a shit about the moment. That was because it did kick off a whole series of Marvel watching, and then after the whole first 4 phases or whatever finished, then I checked out.
Yeah. But that's awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, we could talk about that movie for a million reasons. We might have to reminisce on that movie because those scenes stick out to me like nothing. What's your number? What's one of your favorite movies?
My number one that I got to go with, and this is only my number one because it was the first one that came to my head whenever I first thought of this concept, was South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. The South Park movie from 90... It's either 90... I think it was 99. In 99 that movie came out. But it was the movie where all the kids are swearing. Mm-hmm. And it was in the movie theater, so it was uncensored, and it was the parents were pissed off about the swearing. You remember that one? I don't know if you've seen that one, but they put the chip in Cartman, and when he says bad words, it shocks the shit out of him.
I think I have, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know. That's not sounding
And Saddam Hussein's in it. It's crazy. Saddam Hussein and Satan are trying to take over the world, and they come to Earth whenever the United States government executes Terrence and Phil.
What the... Dude, I don't know.
Dude,
I've watched so much of that.
If you can find it to rent or something, definitely rent it. South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. It's funny as shit. I've seen it a million times. It's technically a musical because they do a lot of songs in it, but it's the funniest shit ever. I love it. It stands the test of time. I could watch it tonight if I knew where to find it. I think you're muted, Justin. There you go.
Sorry, my mouse is weird, but that's awesome. I want to say I've watched it, but I really can't because those sound familiar, but that also sounds like a South Park episode. So I don't know if I've seen that specific movie. So I'll keep an eye out for that. So my next one is funny, and it is Step Brothers.
That's a damn good one. That might have actually changed my number 2 pick. Not that I was going to pick that, but go ahead. Yeah, but that might have shifted my pick.
Step Brothers came out in 2008, and for being in late elementary, middle school at the really big height of that, It's just, I don't have to say everybody likes that movie. That movie, for a million reasons, absolutely is amazing. So I love, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, my number two is originally going to be something else, but now my number two has got to be, just because you made me think of it, my number two is Semi-Pro. Semi-Pro is one of the best goddamn movies ever. It is so funny. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's Will Ferrell. It's about it's about the ABA and NBA merger and a bunch of teams that are about to join the NBA, and it's a bunch of real teams, and then the Flint Michigan Tropics, where Will Ferrell plays a guy that owns, coaches, and plays for the team. It's funny as shit. The clip from that replays in my head a million times is whenever he yells at the referee. The referee calls a foul, and he goes, "Suck my cock, I'll murder your family." And then the referee gives him a tech, and he goes, "What? What did I say?"
That movie, and it probably is reviewed well, but because he makes so many movies, I don't think it is on enough people's radar. Because
No, it's not. Especially nowadays, it's too old. But goddamn, I think it's one of the best ones. It's another stands the test of time movie.
I can watch it right now.
Yeah, anybody, if you haven't watched that, watch that, and directly after, if you haven't watched this, watch Old School. It's also Will Ferrell.
Old School's good.
Old School is also just another good movie around that same time period. And we're getting our, close to 30, so we're almost close to their age, so it's kind of ironic. So my third one is actually, these are just movies that are some of my favorite, because if we ever do lists in the future, I can come up with other ones. But this one is actually, hands down, one of the best movies that I've ever seen. So much to the point that I remember so much about the 4-hour period of, directly before, during, and after this movie, The Revenant.
I knew you were going to say that. You always spoke very highly of that movie.
Bro.
That's always how you, lead up to it when you're talking about that movie. That's how I knew you were talking about it. I wanted to wait until you answered first, but, anytime I've ever heard you talk about that movie, you always lead up to it this might have been the best fucking movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, dude. For seeing it when I did and seeing it with Nate, seeing it with Nate just helped because it kind of affirmed, okay, I'm not just creaming my panties and, for Leo here. I really am understanding and see. It was such a good movie for 1,000,001 reasons, from the reality to the acting to the gruesomeness to the CGI effects to just everything about that movie, and then the fact that it's based on a real story even. But yeah, that movie, freaking fantastic. I think it came out in 2016, 2015, 2016. So if you haven't seen it, see it. It is the movie that got Leo his first Oscar, I believe.
Yeah, it was. That's right.
So that's how good it is. Every other movie for his 30-year period didn't do shit. But yeah, The Revenant, just awesome. So yeah, what's your what's a number 3 for you, or what's the next one on your list?
Number 3, it was originally going to be my number 2 until you brought up a Will Ferrell movie, and then that's when Semi-Pro had to jump in. My number 3 is The Longest Yard. The Longest Yard's a goddamn all-timer. I could watch that 1,000,004 times. It helps that I grew up watching wrestling because there's a bunch of wrestlers and shit in there. But it was also an Adam Sandler movie, which at the time was just by default hilarious.
Yes,
he still makes good movies, but now he's transitioned into making good movies, not necessarily funny ones. He still can make a funny one, but it used to be exclusively funny movies. And The Longest Yard was it was funny, it was feel good, it was everything. It was football. You know what I mean? It was the 3 F's of life.
Yeah. The Longest Yard, I think, gets lost because Adam Sandler, I didn't put him on this list, and it's because too many of his movies are my favorite, and he is a top 3 favorite actor with Jim Carrey of mine. But I think The Longest Yard kind of gets forgot about compared to Billy Madison, I'm blanking on the rest of them, even though I've got two of them picturing in my mind.
Little Nicky.
Little Nicky, Mr. Deeds, all of these
Click.
movies. It's just, yeah, dude, that one is getting crazy. It has Courtney Cox in that. Courtney
Yeah.
Cox is in that. Like, that's a big movie. That is a really big movie. That's a good one. I forgot about that. Man, that makes me want to watch
What's your number
that.
3 here? Yeah, I want to watch The Longest Yard too. I watched it probably a month ago.
I haven't watched it in a long time. So my next one, so I guess my fourth one would be Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man.
The Tobey Maguire one?
2002 was Tobey Maguire. That along with the X-Men movies kicked off even more, or instilled in me even more, kind of fueled the flame for the comic superhero kind of interest that still continues throughout this day. And that movie is more comic accurate than most movies, and I appreciate that. Plus, it's just good. It's crazy for the time period. Very good effects. All of those actors are major actors.
Yeah, for real.
Just really cool. Just I love that movie.
I think it's worth mentioning that movie is the first movie I remember watching. Like, that is my earliest movie watching memory is the Spider-Man movie.
Really?
Yeah, like, I'm sure I watched other movies as a kid, but, like, the first one I watched and remember watching was that Spider-Man movie.
Right.
It was probably when bro got impaled with the fucking glider at the end of it that just got burnt into my little brain.
Harry.
But,
Yeah.
But that was a good movie. That movie made me like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's the shit.
Yep.
I bought my cat a Spider-Man pillow that he slept on for like 4 years before he got too big for it.
a long time. It was like a plushie pillow. Yeah.
Yeah, he got too big for it. He didn't use it anymore.
But yeah, that movie's fucking sick. I hate that I'm doing a lot of superheroes, but I just am. They're just good movies, so they're popping.
I'm about to do another one, and
Good.
mine's going to be the most recent movie I have on this entire list. And I don't even think it's because of the movie. I think it's because of the experience on top of the movie. But Deadpool and Wolverine. It was extra nostalgic. It was like tying up all of the Fox Studios loose ends, kind of, which I thought was cool. It was making all of the jabs at Marvel that all the internet has been making for the past few years. So they acknowledged that, at least, which I respect. For the longest time, they just tried to ignore it and act like it wasn't real. But they let Deadpool do it, which is a very Deadpool thing to do. And the first time I saw that movie was I went to go watch it in a theater with my brother when I went to go visit my brother last summer. So that was like, we went to the store, and then we went to the movie theater, and then that was kind of how that went. It was a good old night, and it was a funny ass movie. So yeah, that one's got to be on my list. Not that it's one of the best movies of all time, but in terms of making a night out of something, because it was that night. Like I got up to Cleveland on Thursday night. My brother was like, "Oh, what do you want to do tonight?" And I was like, I don't know. What do you like? You got to work tomorrow. I don't. What do you want to do tonight? And he was like, "Oh, let's go to the movies." And we went to the movies at like fucking 10 p.m.
That's awesome, dude. That reminds me of my time down in Charleston with Andy. I can't.
That's what it felt like. It felt like being at Andy's house. It
It's
really
why I'm excited. It's why I have to outline that these aren't my favorite movies. They're just 5 of my favorite, because I have so many movies that have so many memories tied into them.
Yeah, me too. But all of mine have been like nostalgia purposes, really.
Yes. Yeah.
Like not necessarily the best movies ever, but like movies. I guess I had the most fun with, or had like the best like story from,
Yeah.
or marked a moment or some shit.
Yeah.
So what's your number 4 here?
This will be my number 5.
Oh, it'll be your number 5. Did you go first?
Avengers, Step Brothers, Revenant, and Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right.
So I actually had a tough time with this one, and it's because both of them are good, but I'm going to save this other one for another time period. This one is just good. Still another superhero movie for 1,000,001 reasons, and nobody can knock it because it's one of the highest rated movies. Deadpool, the first Deadpool. We went and saw that together, and we've seen a bunch of movies together, but just in general, that movie was freaking off the box hilarious. Like, that thing
So
was
funny. It was so like game changing at the time. Whenever there hadn't been a Deadpool movie, and you didn't know exactly what to expect, it was a major curveball. It was awesome.
Yeah. So I love that movie. So, and shout out Ryan Reynolds. I love him just as an actor. So, cool.
I gotta say my last one.
My last one's got to be Scary Movie 2. Just because it's hilarious. I love laughing. Like, that's my source of entertainment. If I'm home and I'm not playing video games, I am trying to find something that is going to make me laugh. Like, if I'm not playing video games or working on this show, or doing a little bit of software work here and there, I am trying to laugh. Even if I'm doing my software work, I'm trying to laugh. I'm trying to find a funny podcast or just some funny comedy special to put on in the background. Like, I'm always trying to find something to laugh. So that's my go-to. Like, if I really need to laugh, like, worst day of my life, that movie could get a laugh out of me, no fucking doubt.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 2.
That's awesome. I love that movie. Are you excited for the new one that's coming out?
I would be if Scary Movie 5 wasn't so bad,
No,
but I'm more excited for this one than I was Scary Movie 5 because they're bringing back a lot of the old cast.
It's the reason they're bringing back the old cast is because it's not the Wayans brothers were not a part of Scary Movie 5.
No, they weren't, and you could tell.
But they are the sole people on this one, so I am certain that this one is going to knock it. It's going to be like
I really hope so. I hope it's the best one out of all of them.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think it has the potential to be. But awesome, that was a great list, dude. That was a good little conversation right there. I think a lot of people will at least resonate with 2 or 3 out of those 10 right there that we've listed. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good point to fucking wrap her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send us off with. I was gonna send us off with a couple of thoughts, but I'm gonna send us off with one. That's
Awesome.
not true. I am gonna send us off with a couple.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me go ahead first. I have a couple last second thoughts, and I'll let
absolutely.
you actually wrap it up this week. I found this out while talking to my buddy, and it's just interesting for anybody that's a bird lover, any moms, anybody that has moms that love to feed birds.
My mom likes to feed birds. I don't know this.
Birds and reptiles cannot process capsaicin, and capsaicin is heat. So if you put pepper seeds inside of your bird feed, it will keep all the other animals out, whereas the birds will still eat it. So no squirrels will bother it. Nothing else will get up in it.
I'll let Mom know that. She's had enough of those goddamn squirrels. And I don't blame her.
Bill Cosby. I'm still trying to work on an honorary degree, and so I was talking about it with a coworker, and so I was just looking up who has the most. And in terms of, this isn't the guy that has the most, but he's the most famous. Bill Cosby technically had the most. He had 72 at one time, up until a couple years ago. Then he had 62 revoked. So he still has 10 honorary degrees, but 62 revoked. But the bigger message in me mentioning that is that there are still 10 universities that believe that Bill Cosby represents their values and the principles of the university enough to not revoke their honorary diploma. So that's hilarious.
I think they need to get on that policy ASAP, all 10 of them.
They absolutely should.
I think he's crossed the only line that needs crossing to mark you ineligible.
Yep.
For an anything.
Hey,
so,
I'm right there with you. If I don't have one, he doesn't deserve one. Amazon, this goes back to last week or the week before. Amazon released just this week their quantum computing chip. So that's, going against everybody else. So just letting us know we really are inching closer and closer to a completely new age in technology. Anybody that watches horror films, I mentioned it, or I may have mentioned it. I know I talked to Wyatt about it eventually, but there is officially a Steamboat Willie horror film in the making, and not just in the making, it is already made, and it is about to come out in a few months. It's the only picture I'll throw up today. Wyatt, I'll send to you right now. This photo is the only thing that they've released about it, and let me just tell everybody, it is quite scary. So, as you can see here, everybody, and as Wyatt will see in a second, Steamboat Willie is Mickey Mouse. He's the one of the heroes. He's Mickey Mouse. So, if you haven't watched the
from the producers of Terrifier 2 and 3, I'm sold. I'm watching this shit.
Yeah, I'm just super excited. But yeah, so Steamboat Willie is officially in public domain. Because he's in public domain, we can do whatever we want with him. Somebody has decided to do this. Also exciting news, Popeye is in productions. So I'd say next year, the year after, we'll have Popeye, because Popeye came in public domain here at the end of 2024
Yep.
at the beginning.
Bambi is too.
Really? I
The
did
Winnie
not.
the people that made the Winnie the Pooh movies are making Bambi. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, and then my last thing to say is that for most people right now, we got a lot. Well, for everybody, we got one more hour of daylight, and with that daylight, it's coming nice weather. So everybody should get out and enjoy something, whether it's walking or watching some sort of sporting event or a concert, or just getting out with your family or loved ones or by yourself. Get out and enjoy the weather, because it's very, very nice, and we all could use it.
Yep. Do it while it's nice and before it gets hot as fuck. Go fishing, go golfing, go smoke crack. Don't go smoke crack. Go do whatever you want to. I got a couple of closing thoughts as well. Fuck AI art. That's the first, I think most important. I'll stand by that one until I die. Don't Facebook your goddamn Google questions. Google them. You'll get results faster from people that are smarter. And the Cavs keep winning. And that's why I wore this hat today. Because come June, July, it's going to be Cavs time again. Unless they get Lakered out by the league. I'll call that conspiracy right now. They're going to get Luka'd.
I like that.
It will be too, because it's going to be LeBron against his former team in the finals, and then they're going to get Luka'd. Get a whoop they ass.
The Cavs are way better.
I think so too.
If the Cavs remember to pitch that hay, they'll get to milk that goat, and if they milk the goat, they'll get the championship. They just got to remember the process. Trust the process.
That is true. Yeah, trust the process. It worked for the Sixers. That was it for episode 11. We'll see you back here for number 12.